We say good evening to our guests this evening on The Blueprint, Abhishek Manu Singhvi of the Congress and Dr. Ijaz Ilmi of the BJP. Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, the first question to you is, if the Congress leader Anand Sharma knew that files were being moved out from the capital to Chennai, why speak up now? If you knew something was wrong in the Environment Ministry, why not say it then?
We said it then. What do you think her removal is? Her removal is the most eloquent statement that things in the state of Denmark were not quite well. Now let me clarify here that there is a vast difference between legally admissible proof, we are not in a court of law, I am not filing charges against you, versus a ministerial responsibility. A political party is entitled, on the basis of widespread views, knowledge, information, which was in the public domain, and you know it in the press as well as I do for the last 1 year, and a joint decision, and I've said today from the podium that, believe me, officially I am saying from the highest quarters, both the Congress President and the Prime Minister, then Prime Minister, jointly decided that she would not be fit for ministerial responsibility. So what more eloquent statement could the party make by A, so then making her demit office, and B, as she admits, she had no further work allotted to her.
No, but then the explanation was, Madam wants you to join, leave the ministry to join for party work. That's the explanation given. And why that glowing letter?
Let's be very clear.
That we appreciate your contribution to the ministry. Why the glowing letter from the Prime Minister's office if she was accused or charged with corruption?
Let me answer both questions. This is not a question of charge. We're not talking about court of law. A political party, in fact, acts responsibly if it is sensitive to a widespread belief that things are going wrong, and therefore if I have that view about you, I am entitled to remove you. Now as far as the letter is concerned, let's not be childlike or gullible. A Prime Minister will, in the interest of civility and courtesy, write a general pat on the back to a departing colleague from his Council of Ministers. After all, she is leaving. It speaks about her past, but she's done some good work, etc. That is wholly consistent and harmonious with the equal fact that while he is being nice to a departing colleague, her very departure is for the reason that there are these allegations. So I don't see any contradiction.
Dr. Ijaz Ilmi on the Congress.
And we are being very childlike if we think...
No, is it childlike or does it boomerang on the Congress, Dr. Ilmi, that they were trying to shield the corrupt? Rather than exposing the minister, they just sacked it and brushed it under the carpet. Is this explanation plausible and is it acceptable, Dr. Ilmi?
No. It can be evocative and eloquent, but the reality is there were confidentiality of the government. They need to share everything with the party and the party president. Why this extraneous, extra-legal interference in the work of ministries and this enabling mechanism and stalling mechanism which emanates from the Congress president or the Congress vice president? These are the questions which need to be answered. Why were the files, whether they were signed or unsigned, lying with the residents? Why did she have to take permission to clear or stall projects? That is the crony capitalism that we are talking about. Was she hand in glove? Was the Congress party hand in glove? Was there enabling mechanism? Was the power of poison that Mr. Rahul Gandhi spoke about at the FICCI meet, that power, where did that poison emanate from? The poison to stall, the poison to enable, I mean, were environment clearances actually being used to stifle the growth of the nation, or to
quick rebuttal, Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi.
On the contrary,
yes, sir.
Let me tell you that nobody can play this game both ways. Let me tell you that had we not exercised the powers of a responsible party, a responsible government, each of you would have been complaining that, look, here we are hearing these stories and there is no change. Every day Mr. Modi does it as much as we do it. When a Prime Minister, when a party president gets reports which may be somewhat credible but may not be legally sustainable proof about incompetence, about more than incompetence, about illegality, and let me go further, about what not us but the BJP called a Jayanti tax, well then I think not only is he empowered and entitled, and here both the Supreme Commanders, Congress President and Prime Minister, then Prime Minister, concurrently discussed, agreed and decided. But in fact, not only are they empowered, but they are obliged If they had not done it, you would be the first, the country would be the first to criticize us.
Right.
Now,
Interesting
nobody
to
can
say that you
look,
said the
the
Supreme
Prime
Commander
Minister
first, the
is
Congress
responsible
President, and then the Prime Minister, Mr. Manu Singhvi.
Under the Prime
Before the
Minister,
rebuttal, Dr.
not
Ilmi,
under the party president.
I just want to play, two voices or two, sets of words that emanated from the same person, the Congress Vice President, and we are calling it the flip. Here's why. In August 28, 2010, December 13, 2013, December 21st, 2013, and that too less than 24 hours after Jayanti Natarajan's sacking, how come Mr. Rahul Gandhi suddenly realized that projects can be cleared? How is it that soon after that, after his speech at FICCI, 70 projects got cleared in 20 days? What changed, sir?
I think both your clip and your comments just now prove the exact point I'm making. If you are the head of a council of ministers and you find either incompetence or worse, and this is a case of worse.
So it took 3 years to realize it?
Anybody.
It took 3 years, sir? It took close to 3 years to realize it.
Are you see, hectoring never scares me or stops me.
No, that's not the intention at all.
Complete.
That's not the intention at all, because you say we proved your point. We are asking you, did it take the Congress Vice President 3 years to realize what was happening?
But if you want to,
yes, sir.
Want to hear the answer, then you have to be at least giving me 60 seconds, no?
Go ahead, Mr. Manu Singhvi.
You used to give me 60 seconds to reply. The name is Dr. Abhishek Singhvi, and the 60 seconds means this. When a dispensational regime finds any of its ministers either incompetent or worse, and this is the case of slightly worse, they are fully entitled to remove them. It is not for them to question, it is not for anybody else to question. That's all that happened. And obviously, if somebody found a lot of files not moving, and you found them moving immediately after she left, it is very clear that there was obstruction. And the obstruction is against efficient government and efficient governance, and that bottleneck was removed.
Is that the case, or is it that the direction suddenly changed, and somebody was made the scapegoat, somebody was hung out to dry, so that the direction could be changed, 100 days before the general elections, Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi?
Apart from Ms. Jayanti Natarajan's self-serving statement, you have absolutely no evidence to suggest that, for the simple reason that the Congress policy, the Congress manifesto, the Congress philosophy, the Congress stated stand 100,000 times has been an ideal mix of pro-poor, pro-deprived policies coupled with no unnecessary delay, where legitimately no pro-poor or tribal or forest rights are affected. Mr. Rahul Gandhi at Niyamgiri spoke this well before Ms. Jayanti Natarajan was made the minister, that where forest rights, tribal rights are concerned, will stand firm. But where there are no such issues, there is no reason for delay. And that harmonious balance is very different from the completely runaway, starry-eyed, pro-rich, pro-corporate policies of the BJP, which both the BJP is promoting today, because Mr. Jaitley said those were the sadistic policies. Also, Ms. Jayanti Natarajan seems to prefer those sadistic policies, namely the policies of pro-corporate, pro-rich.
Very conveniently, Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, now that you're talking about evidence, it's circumstantial evidence. Because within 24 hours of Jayanti Natarajan being sacked, we had Rahul Gandhi making that address at FICCI and making the statement. Dr. Ijaz Ilmi, you wanted to make a point. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, these are not sanctimonious instructions. They were clear diktats and directions to the Environment Minister, Ms. Jayanti Natarajan of those days, who was being presently vilified and attacked by Youth Congress boys in Chennai, protesting outside their residence. So basically, it's a case that you self-generate this policy paralysis, and which is the progenitor, which is the Congress President or the Vice President, and then you change your track while talking at FICCI to industrialists, and you change your stance totally, and you come forward with a view. So you do a complete about turn, a U-turn, which is why the questions are being asked, and very important issues have been raised by the former minister, who has said that all these instructions or directives were something that she had to comply with. So that means she was not somebody who had an independent voice, who could apply her mind. She had to comply not with the remote control, but the real control lay with something that was extra-constitutional, extra-judicial, extraneous, which happened to be at the Congress President or the Vice President's level. These are charges that Mr. Singhvi, you have to clarify and come forth with.
Yes, Mr. Singhvi.
I think there is complete misunderstanding for 2 or 3 simple reasons. First and foremost, if a minister is asked to implement the manifesto stated openly known policies of the Congress or the philosophy of the Congress, there is nothing wrong in it. Secondly, even leave aside the Congress President or Congress Vice President, even if a Congress Aam Aadmi worker writes a letter of complaint, the minister is obliged to look into it. And who is there to question whether I remove my minister or not? Today, are you going to do this great analysis on the complaint of a person 1 year later who has had 4 terms without election in a Lok Sabha seat, several ministerships and a spokespersonship, and even in the letter of November, she is happily seeking responsibilities within the party. So that if the responsibility had been given, none of the allegations would have been made. And one last thing, today's presser, in case you missed it, quote unquote, says Rahul Gandhi telephoned and said, and repeat quotes, forest rights, tribal rights and environmental degradation must be protected and achieved, that doesn't happen. This is the quote unquote instruction. So what is the problem if I'm asking you to implement a Congress manifesto policy? What is the problem?
So who deviated from the manifesto policy?
The inference is the breach of confidentiality of the working of the government. Are they all answerable to the party president or the vice president in terms of their day-to-day functioning? Was there an enabling mechanism, a stalling mechanism? These are the questions.
No. I think you need to relearn the constitutional mechanics. Every party in power functions through the government. The government, 99.99%, if it's a responsive or a sensitive government, answers to the needs of the party in power in terms of manifesto, philosophy and approach. Every party does it. On the contrary, not doing it would be a disconnect. That's all that happened, and the funniest part is...
So are you trying to say that the philosophy changed 100 days before the elections, before the general elections, Mr. Abhishek Singhvi?
A constitutionally mandated government is the one that is empowered
to
do their job.
You are saying that. I am not saying that. On the contrary,
you can't have a remote control or a real control. You have to have a control of the government.
Sir, where is the remote control?
Yes.
Where is the remote control? The remote control arises because the government's policy matches perfectly with the UPA philosophy and the Congress philosophy. The only issue was that far from protecting tribal rights and forest rights, there was a situation where 60-70 files unconnected with such issues were being delayed. And that is something quite different from the Congress manifesto.
What was the reason?
So today, after 1 year, we are analyzing or doing a post-mortem at the behest of someone. Well, that's precisely you to ask her, not me.
So, because that person, Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, waited for 11 months before she wrote a letter to the Congress president. She says she did not receive an acknowledgement.
But a family loyalist
a letter
is being vilified by you.
And it's come out in the media in January, and she has come out and spoken about it. Now the fact, she has raised certain questions to which we have not got the answers so far, and that's why we are asking you this time and again. Why keep everything under wraps and not speak out then? If there was reason enough to sack her, and I'm sure there would be evidence enough to tell the world that no, this person was not doing her job right. But that never came to the fore. That never came to the fore. It's coming out now. It's today that you have called her a liar and a hypocrite and an opportunist. Nobody said anything when that letter was written in November 2014. The Congress party didn't come out and say this is falsitude.
Anand, was she incompetent or was she not complying with directions and dictates?
Yes.
Now, will you allow somebody to reply and stop this monologue? There is not a single point made in the letter or in the press conference that has not been answered point by point in my press conference today or in the questions you put me. You should know that a person who after 11 months or more than 1 year of the incident writes an opportunistic letter, that itself has to be discounted. Everything is hunky-dory for 4 6-year terms of 24 years, including 2 ministerships, that can't become suddenly horrible and rotten merely because you have no responsibility. Secondly, after removal, she was vigorously seeking party responsibility. On the contrary, as a responsible party, because there was material against her, We did not give her a party responsibility.
Well, then
or a
why call
ministerial
her for
responsibility.
why call her to
Why
lead the
the
charge on
Sabbath
Snoopgate?
grapes?
If that is your argument, Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, then why call her in between ad nauseum to lead the charge on Snoopgate? So once again, every time you say that she was not worthy, then why make the promise of giving her party work and not give her any at all? Why give her the promise of giving party work? Just tell her that we don't require services anymore.
Please.
You are...
1 minute. You have got your facts all wrong. Before you get so excited, right. She was asked to take a Snoopgate briefing along with 4 other ladies while she was a minister. The 4 ladies from the ICC podium who took it collectively and together, 2 were ministers, Girja Vyas and Jayanti Natarajan, 2 were non-ministers, Shobha Oja and Rita Bahuguna. So please get your facts right. She was not asked to take a Snoopgate briefing after December when she left the ministry. Don't get excited on wrong facts.
No, Abhishek, this is being too clever with half-truths. Post-ipsi facto, after the deed was done, the fact after 1 year she's coming out and being a family Gandhi loyalist and having been rewarded for last 2 decades, she was in the cabinet of Mr. Rajiv Gandhi also. Why should somebody come out and point out glaring mistakes and glaring issues which impact the nation, because these are very serious issues? Was there a cess or a surcharge? Right. Was there extraneous influence for her decisions? Did she have to take diktats and directions all the time? Or was there independent functioning? Right. These are issues that are, yes.
Well, there are questions to be asked. I'm sorry, gentlemen, I'm way over time here on The Blueprint. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. The questions remain. We are also standing by for Jayanti Natarajan to join us later on in the evening on the News Hour with Arnab Goswami. She'll be live with us. To stay with us on Times Now.
Tonight.